In this video, we're going to graph f of x using a transformation of g of x, which is the natural exponential function. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is write f of x in terms of g of x. So f of x equals, so there's a negative out front, and then g, and what do I need to plug into g? I need to plug in x plus 3. If you plug in x plus 3, you'll have e to the x plus 3. Okay, so I need to plug that in, x plus 3, and then I have the minus 1 on the end. Okay, so what are my transformations? So the first transformation that I have, starting on, when I read this, I'm going to read from this side onward. Okay, so remember I always put this on the end, the add or subtracting of a constant on the end, because that's going to be the last step that you do. So what's the first thing I need to do? This negative sign means that I flip over the x-axis. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm going to do. So the first thing is I have a flip over the x-axis. So that will give me negative g of x. Next thing that I'm going to do is this plus 3. So that will be moving to the left by 3. So shift left 3. Okay, and that will give me negative g of x plus 3. All right, lastly, I'm going to do this plus 1 that's on the end, and that is a shift down 1. So I forgot to end those parentheses. Okay, so that will be negative g of x plus 3 minus 1. So that will give me the function f of x. All right, so let's go ahead and get started by first drawing g of x. Now the y-intercept for g of x is 1, right? If you plug in 0 for x, you get e to the 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. And then if you plug in 1, you get 2 point something, right? So 2 point, I'm just going to put it in between there, 2.7. Okay, so those are the 2 points I'm going to work with when I'm drawing f of x. I know that I also have this asymptote here, this horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. Okay, so that's what g looks like. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and do the flip over the x-axis. So instead of this first point being 0, comma 1, it's going to be 0, comma negative 1. All right, so I'm flipping it over the x-axis, and instead of this point being 1, comma 2.7 something, it's going to be 1, comma negative 2 point something. Okay, so that's going to be down here. Okay, and so I'm just going to kind of draw this, kind of flipping it. Okay, something along, well, needs to go a little steeper than that. So here's the 2 point something. Okay, something like this. All right, so that's negative g of x. All right, now let's do the shift left by 3. So instead of being here on the y-axis, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to be there. So and then instead of being at 1, this point is like at 1, negative 2.7. It's going to be over here at 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, right? So 2 something. Okay, so somewhere about right there. Okay. Now my asymptote doesn't change though. Okay, so I still have y equals 0 as my asymptote. Okay. Last thing is shift down by 1. So now instead of this, this point here being at negative 3, 1, now it's going to be at negative 3, 2. That's going to be the shift down. Okay, and then this point also will shift down 1. Okay, if I had graphing paper, this would be a little easier, but you can get an idea of what it looks like. Also, make sure when you're doing the shift down, you also shift down the asymptote. So the asymptote used to be at y equals 0. So now it's going to be at, so if I shift that down 1, it's going to be at y equals 1, negative 1. So it'll be right there. Okay. And this is what my graph will look like. So finally, this is the graph of f of x. Okay. So state its horizontal asymptote. Horizontal asymptote is at y equals negative 1.